So this is what you get if you come in the early morning, winter time. It's almost December. That's Ghat number 1, Ravidas Ghat. These are the cruise boats lined up over here, and that's the Ghat walk. So as a photographer or a videographer, uh, you have to take this into consideration if you have to come here in the morning for a Ghat walk along with your camera and your lenses. However, we are going to start our Ghat walk today. It's going to be a continuous walk, non-stop right up till Namo Ghat. So here is Ghat number 1. We have started at around 6:20 or so, and we are going to time our walk to see how long it will take for us to complete a Ghat walk covered by the GoPro right up till Namo Ghat. So, as per Google Maps, this complete distance takes about 1.5 hours. Uh, it's give or take 10 minutes here and there. If you have to do it in a faster time, you have to really walk fast, really fast. Many people start their Ghat walk from Assi Ghat and end up at Namo Ghat. That's the actual Ghat walk route, which is properly paved and all. But then, I always like to start from Ghat number 1, the Ravidas Ghat, because there is a good parking over here. See all these cars lined up at the ground behind us where we were walking. This is all parking space. Now, daybreak is somewhere at around 6 o'clock in the winters. And at daybreak, at Assi Ghat, you will have the Ganga Aarti. So today we are going to also see that Ganga Aarti portion. Check out the timings. It's supposed to start at daybreak, not at sunrise. So keep that thing in mind. Sunrise would be somewhere around 7 o'clock, where the sun will be clearly visible on the horizon, whereas daybreak is at 6 o'clock. Again, the timing changes as per the winter calendar progresses. Now, this pathway which is there between Ravidas Ghat and Assi Ghat is it's not a proper one, firstly. Secondly, there aren't too many people using it. So be careful, very early mornings and very late nights. However, this city is as safe as any city can be. In fact, I would say this will be the safest city in the entire world. That's what, in fact, it has its own definition of safety. That's a akhara over here, a very rudimentary and makeshift, but it's still there. The water level has receded quite a lot because the path on which we are walking during the flooding season, that is in September, October, the water had reached these levels. This place was submerged underwater. And compared to that, now if you see the level of the water where the boat is. Now there are two possibilities we are going to encounter. Either we'll see the Ganga Aarti, which will be right there in front of us, or we'll have to continue moving ahead. So Ravidas Ghat complex has been kept very quiet and reserved kind of thing because the cruise boats disembark from there. Whereas the Assi Ghat complex is quite buzzing with activity, I can say. It is only after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock that the activity ceases, but otherwise it starts very, very early morning. Somewhere around 5 o'clock you will find the people, morning walkers, the exercise and all, they come here. And towards this time, that is 6 o'clock, then there is a cultural program over there, and then the Ganga Aarti. So all these things are happening over here. I'll take you around over there just to give you an estimate as to how much crowd is here. Now first is these boats which are lined up. There are a few boats which are ready to take you to Namo Ghat, or they will take you for a Ghat tour from here to Namo Ghat and back. Now that's the cultural program which is going on. And this place is either getting ready or they are closing up. Yeah, they are closing up. So the Aarti is over, which means that the Aarti must have begun at daybreak, that is 6 o'clock. I have always seen at this place in the morning there is some havan or other kind of religious or cultural program going on. That's a really good collection of lenses. So she is actually using two bodies to quickly shift between, because as a street photographer, the main important part is to capture the scene as it happens. You can't waste time changing lenses. That portion of Assi Ghat is the place where the cultural programs and all are held. This is the old portion. This is the old portion. And this is what I was mentioning, the plaque from where the list of ghats are shown. So here it is, 0 kilometers, 1 second. So second is Assi Ghat. So as I said, many people start their ghat walk from here. Now there could be a couple of reasons for that. One reason is that Assi Ghat complex has got a parking space, which is pay and park. It has also got hotels and restaurants, and it has got a approachable road. So anybody who comes there can get down over here and then do their activities, whatever they are interested in. Now I was wondering that because what happens is whenever the Aarti finishes, the people who are watching the Aarti, they disembark and they start going around. So I wanted to really avoid the crowds, but no issues. Because if I want to do a very fast walk, I need to be here when people are not there. Now, as the winter temperature dips, you will find people still doing Ganga Snan early morning. And actually this is not early morning. early morning will be about half an hour or 1 hour before this time. So it's really cold out there and people still take their dip. So this is the Bhadoni water tower, and this is the end of the Assi Ghat complex. There is this work going on for the last 1 year. Only one machine was working. Eventually, 2 days back, this machine fell down. And then, people were wondering what to do next. Bhadoni water tower is the place where pilgrim activity is not allowed. No bathing point, nothing. There isn't even an approachable access road. This is the place where the water turns after coming straight, and this complete area is very deep. So there's a warning sign over there. However, very next to it is a bathing ghat. So this is Janki Ghat, and there are these two ancient markers. One which says that it is for women, the queue, and the other for men. Now that's the beauty of winters, because it's daybreak and there is a lot of light, but the sun is not up yet. So immediately after you, say about 200 meters in front of you, you won't see anything. But the point at which you are walking will be very much visible. That's a small boat going on a private cruise. There are two people sitting in the boat. Now between Bhadoni Ghat and Janki Ghat and the next Ghat complex which is going to come, there are a series of ghats like this Jain Ghat, and then afterwards is the Nishad Ghat. So these are all smaller ghats. They used to be existing, but they were never named officially. Now the government has given them proper names. So there is Ghat number 1, which is Ravidas Ghat, and Ghat number 84, which is Namo Ghat. So that's the Nishad Ghat. It's named after the Nishad Mandir. Nishad is the boat community, and Raj is a king or a leader or a chieftain. So Nishad Raj would be the local leader who was here, and there is a temple dedicated to that person. That's the Ghat walk graphic. Very beautiful. It hasn't been repainted. There you go, another private boat ride with two people on it. So many families do take the private boat ride, and sometimes they would like to halt at places also. Prabhu Ghat has got some residential complex behind private, but the Ghat area, the Ghat walls have been beautifully done up, and this place is a good place for you to sit in the night, in the morning, in the daytime, any time of the day, and especially in winters it is even more better. There is absolutely no bathing activity at this portion of the Ghat. The last place where any kind of bathing takes place is Janki Ghat. So this is the place mostly where people come and sit There are a couple of food stalls also over here, makeshift, so you can enjoy a small snack also. That's the Chet Singh Fort or the Chet Singh Palace. It looks very beautiful from outside, classy, unique, antique, but it has been, it is in a state of disrepair. And the Chet Singh Fort is the rightmost edge of the next ancient Ghat complex, which is the Shivala Ghat. So this Ghat complex again has been further subdivided into smaller ghats. Like there is Niranjani Ghat, and then the next one is Mahanirvani Ghat. There's a Everest Cafe over there, and there is another ghat in front of that. That's the rightmost edge. So like that, this Ghat complex forms a concave shape. And whenever you see any Ghat complex forming a concave shape, that is a old Ghat complex. It's not just tourists, but even the local people, they come to the ghats like as a part of an outing. That's the main Shivala Ghat, which is actually a temple, and besides the temple is a hotel. So if you wish to check out a stay in a really, really good hotel and an expensive one, this could be one of your options. That's Gularia Ghat, and that's the Everest Cafe over there. So this place sees a lot of bathing activity and religious rituals, but I'm presuming in the morning there is nothing over here. The action starts a little late morning, maybe at sunrise. This is an indication. The next Ghat or the next Ghat series is starting from Namo Ghat, and then there are a couple of other Ghats also. So these are all, again, as I mentioned, these are the smaller Ghat complexes which have been officially named by the government. And immediately after the Shivala Ghat complex is the Harishchandra Ghat, which is the cremation ground. It is the official cremation ground for the city. Now both this Ghat as well as the other cremation ground, that is Manikarnika, are now getting upgraded. So there is these blue sheets which have been put on, and there is some graphics which goes to say that yes, definitely this place is going to come up in a better way. That's the tantric puja section of the Harishchandra Ghat. Okay, so as I said, this is a very ancient Ghat. All these old temples and old structures, and this Ghat definitely requires renovations. Okay, so something interesting is going to come up right next to the Harishchandra Ghat. There is a Vedic school. Now every time in the morning I would hear, the chants coming from this place. So a Vedic school is a very, very old Indian culture, and these are the young priests who are being trained in the knowledge of Vedas. That yellow painted building is supposedly their school. So many times these people come down to the river banks to perform the other set of their rituals. So once these students graduate from the school, they perform all kind of religious rituals which are supposed to be there in the Vedas. And if anybody is trained from Kashi, it's like one of the top universities of Hinduism. Now, immediately after this school is the Gauri Kedareshwar Ghat, also known as Kedar Ghat. It's named after the Gauri Kedareshwar Mandir which is there. Now, this place is very active. I have seen devotees performing their prayers very late into the night, and now it is early morning. They are also active. That's the Gauri Kedareshwar Mandir. Now, after this Ghat complex, there is nothing much to be seen ahead. Okay, there is a big gap. However, all the ghats which are over here, they are frequented by the pilgrims. So either it is that ghat which is behind us, that is the main epicenter. However, this one which is coming up in front, Chowki Ghat, and then the one which is ahead of it. So all these places will see pilgrims coming here and performing their rituals. So that's the Gauri Kedareshwar lane which you see, the buildings. There's a road below that. That lane is running parallel to the ghats. So if at all this area gets submerged, like it happened in September and October, you could take the Gauri Kedareshwar lane. Now the Gauri Kedareshwar lane starts from Harishchandra Ghat, and it moves towards Dasashmeva Ghat. In between it converts into Bengali Tola lane. And then from Dasashmeva Ghat, you can take the Gyanvapi road, which is not exactly parallel to the corridor, but it is doable. Basically, it is because the corridor has been set up that the Gyanvapi road now becomes a longer route. Otherwise, in between the lanes, you could take a shortcut. So there is something marked over here as an International Kashi Ghat Walk. Vishwavidyalaya means university. I have to find out what this is. And this is another temple and a ghat where I have seen devotees come frequently. So you can see over here, people are doing their Ganga Snan. And that's a very beautiful temple. It is painted, it is maintained. Now we have photographers throughout the day, but there are many of them who come early morning to catch the morning scenes. I will also be doing that one day whenever I get a chance. So somewhere at this point, the Gauri Kedareshwar lane changes into Bengali Tola lane. It's a continuous lane. Now next ghat, which is coming up in front of us after this one, Mansarovar, is the Narad Ghat. Now Narad Ghat is an interesting place. Firstly, there is this banyan tree and there's a tiny temple over there. And if you see this wall, there's a door over there whose access has been shut down. And there are two temples over here visible from this side. Actually, there are three. One is not visible. And below this ghat,
the viewing area I told you,
you will find that there's this shelter made where a lot of religious rituals are held. This is Raja Ghat, and if you climb on these stairs, you can access the Datta Mandir or Mutt. And this building which you see, it is a kind of residential place for the king, the Peshwas who built this ghat and this mandir. So now the problem is that this whole thing is a private property. You see there's an access door here also. So it belongs now to the Peshwas. And the caretaker was telling me yesterday that they do come here from time to time to visit the temple. So the temple as well as the residential place, it is a private property. This is the Pandey Ghat. It is named after a wrestler who came over here from Bihar and set up an akhara over here. I always find clothes being dried up because now very soon you will have the sunrise, and from now to about say next 3 to 4 hours there will be a bright sunshine, and that will help to dry the clothes. All along this ghat walk section, at the left portion, you can just skip this part and go and take the Bengali Tola lane. That's a person performing Surya Namaskars. There's a beautiful cafe over here, just next to the nameplate. And again, another access road to the Bengali Tola lane. So Pandey Ghat complex in between really is a kind of makeshift place which has got staircases. And thanks to the government efforts, people have actually, repaired it and they are using it. But otherwise, there isn't much significance in terms of temples or places of worship. So this is how the ghat walk looks like. It's a proper marked place. And even in the night, this place is illuminated by floodlights. So right up till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or even later than that, you will find this place very active. This is Sita Hotel. On the top, there is a rooftop restaurant, which has both got an open view as well as closed. And finally, this series of stairs, or the ghat steps, they're just another makeshift. There are a few homestays and residential places in this complex. Okay, this guy is selling kingfishers. That's completely illegal. I hope he understands it eventually. This ghat complex is great. I mean, it is the most Insta-friendly ghat complex you can ever find. That's because this is a hotel. And this is a very high-end hotel. That's Bridge Rama Palace, and they have got their own boats. And over here, this staircase will take you on top, where you can have a good view from these two viewpoints. The next ghat is Munshi Ghat, and all of a sudden you are entering into the Sashimeva Ghat complex. So the Sashimeva Ghat is the oldest. This is the most frequented ghat, the most popular one. In fact, I always tell people that the Ganga Aarti at Assi Ghat is much better and much professionally managed than the Dasashimeva one. But it is the location of the Dasashimeva Ghat which, gives it that premium appeal. This is the Dasashimeva temple after which the ghat is named. It's a very ancient temple, and that's Ahilya Bai Ghat. So right from this point onwards, there are these platforms where the priests are sitting. They perform the religious rituals. There is 1 and 2 tiers, 2 levels. So all these places are registered from generation to generation. While there are large number of activities which are carried out at the Dasashimeva Ghat, Assi Ghat has got more space, but the Dasashimeva Ghat is actually symbolic. Here. So this is the way the priests are sitting. This is the in gate or the in pathway. So these priests are here are very learned, and they can virtually get any puja conducted which is there in the Vedic books. However, be careful of the rates, because if you are new and they come to know that you are from outside, they have their ways of making money. Just like any other ghat, on this ghat also you will find people sleeping over for the night and then getting up in the morning and conducting their religious rituals. That's a observatory, and it is now under the archaeological department or something. It's a kind of museum now. That's the sunrise. Okay, so the sun has risen about half an hour back, but it was just not visible. Now the visibility is improved. That's Dolphin Restaurant with a good viewpoint, and these graphics have been recently done up about a couple of weeks back. Now, once people come to the Dasashimeva Ghat, they also visit the Kashi Vishwanath corridor at the same time. So, walking distance between these two is somewhere around, say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on your speed. If you see this ghat also, there's a concave shape again, and that's the Tripura Bhairavi Ghat. That's another viewpoint just next to Alka Hotel, which is a very beautiful hotel. Now, it's not grand in terms of the sense of grand, but it's got an amazing view. There's a restaurant and a sitting place on the second floor, and then there are these rooms which are even higher. This is the Mihir Ghat complex. In fact, it is the only ghat which is between the Dasashmeva and Kashi Vishwanath corridor. This whole ghat walk area is full of tourists. There are stalls over here, and within a few maybe half an hour or 1 hour, this whole place is going to get flooded with people. So the people will come to the Dasashmeva Ghat, and from there they will walk down to the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, and then they will climb up to take the darshan. So that's the routine which people follow. Between Kashi Vishwanath corridor and Mihir Ghat, over here especially, you will notice that there is no pathway to go to the main road. So keep that in mind before you explore. There are people trying to click the rising sun, which is a beautiful sight. Now all these vendors selling flowers and other religious articles, they sit all along this wall. Right up till this point. This point is the Lalita Ghat, and there's the Nepali temple over here. So Lalita Ghat, the Nepali temple, is maintained by the Archaeological Survey of Nepal, and it's very beautiful in the evening. So that's what it is marked, Ghat walk. And if you find it a little muddy, that's because the water level had risen till this height. So that's the Kashi Vishwanath corridor right in front of us. That's Lalita Ghat, and this Ghat complex, this building is now part of the Ghat complex of Kashi Vishwanath corridor. There is no activity allowed over here of any kind. That's the Ganga Dwar. That's another entry point. You will get the darshan and all, everything, lockers and all, everything over here. So this is the first gate, and after that there will be a second gate to enter inside. The boats will disembark here, and devotees will be able to climb this whole thing. The next one is the historic Manikarnika Ghat. The Ghat walk over here is little tricky. So either you go from down, because now the water level has cleared completely, but then ahead there is a small obstacle. The second option is you take this path, but be careful, there is no railing of any kind. So you take this path and then you climb directly up. So that's the Manikarnika cremation ground. Now you climb directly up, and then you cross over from this side. That's a very ancient temple, and the fire which you see in the center, that's the eternal flame which is always burning. Now since this is morning time, it's relatively less crowded. However, this ghat works 24/7, this cremation ground. That's the route which comes from Manikarnika Dwar, which is on the main road. Manikarnika Ghat is mostly known as the cremation ghat. However, it's also an ancient ghat where the religious rituals were performed. There's one temple over here, which is a very old temple. The second one is this one, and the third is right in front. Now, in order to access the temples, you have to take this pathway. One goes to the left and the other goes to the right. That's the famous Ratneshwar temple, which is a tilted temple. And this is the Manikarnika Kund. There it is. I think just a couple of more weeks, this temple will be more visible, and then the priest will start cleaning it up. That's another tilted temple structure. That's the Dattatreya Paduka Mandir. And that's Sindhya Ghat. Now, Sindhya Ghat is also one of the old ghats. However, it's interesting to know that starting from Ahilyabai Ghat, which we saw behind next to the Dasashmeva Ghat, and the Munshi Ghat, along with the Kashi Vishwanath, and then this Ghat, they've all been constructed by Marathas. They're the sanitary workers continuously working throughout the day, sometimes more than 2-3 shifts, and that's because the people keep littering. Now we are entering into the domain of the Marathas, and we are getting closer to the last of the ancient ghats, that is Panchaganga Ghat. So all of a sudden, you will find changes over here, like the number of people will reduce at this stretch, and then they'll again increase at Panchaganga Ghat, but not significantly. It will be a minor increase. So that's the Bhosle Ghat, majestic structure, and then all of a sudden there will be a series of ghats, and that's Panchaganga Ghat right in the far distance, shrouded in fog. Now the interesting part about this place is that, it's a different world. So you will find people over here, wrestlers, they'll be doing their exercises. There will be, people performing their rituals. There's also a Vedic school over there. So they will be, doing their morning studies and chanting. And all of a sudden, in the middle of nowhere, there is this Guleria Koti. It's a luxury hotel again. This outdoor seating gets active in the winters. A beautiful view of the river. You can sit here and sip your coffee and enjoy the river view. There is a Ganesh temple over here, which has got a very unique idol. And after that temple, this ghat is named. This is an interesting ghat, Mehta Ghat. Nothing about it, which at least I know about. Now, time-wise, it is approximately, say, around 35 to 40 minutes lapsed since we started from Ravidas Ghat. We are maintaining good speed because, as I said, as per Google, it is supposed to take 1 hour 30 minutes. Now, the last time I had taken this kind of ghat walk, it was almost during the daytime. Early morning, so there were quite a number of crowds. Now this is the second one. Now the third one, which I'm going to take, will be very, very early morning, almost at daybreak. That's the sunrise, now very prominently visible. There's Ram Ghat. There's a Khandova temple over here. That's the morning breakfast, kachori. Now these ghats also, they have a stamp of the Marathas. That's Raja Gwalior Ghat. Again, a Maratha family has built it. That's Mangla Gauri temple on top of these stairs. And here there are a series of 3 temples. One is this one, the Radheshwar Maharaj temple, and then there is another one over here, Pataleshwar, and over the top on there, Balaji. So this staircase takes you to 3 temples. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is Mangala Gauri. And that's the temple run which I'm planning to do very soon. And that's Panchaganga Ghat coming up. It's a very ancient ghat. All kind of religious, cultural, spiritual activities are held over here, including that stand which you see. That's the stand for Dev Deepavali. And yes, Dev Deepavali originated here, and now it is celebrated across the ghats of Banaras and even in places like Prayagraj. Now, if you must have noticed, the ghat steps are very steep over here. That's the interesting part of the whole concept. They are the pilgrims. They are the people exercising over here. That's a very common morning phenomena. He's doing Surya Namaskars. That's the staircase which goes to Bindu Madhav Mandir. The next one is Durga Ghat, and behind that, the most amazing ghat you will ever know. That's the Brahma Ghat, again built by the Marathas. So over here, there are 2 places. One is the Kashi Dham, which is a private museum, very interesting, worth it. And the second one is the Ekmukhi Dattatreya Mandir. So there's a pathway behind which can take you on top of this. There's a path, it's not a private property, and you'll get a good view from the top. So this is the last of the ancient ghats. It is beautifully painted by these graphics. The water level had risen quite a lot on this wall. So this entire wall was cleaned up and repainted. That's the river view. Now, after this portion, all of a sudden, the ghat walk takes a different turn. So now you have the newer ghats. All these ghats are either created in the last 20 years, or they had some residential areas, but nothing of significance. So in the distance, just where the fog line is starting, is the Namo Ghat. Now, from here onwards, the next series of ghats are basically made in a mind that the main ghats and the older ghats are too congested. So now, to provide some sort of decongestion, these ghats have been created, the infrastructure is ready, the approach roads are also there. So if everything goes fine, you will find this space also crowded with pilgrims. The problem with India is that the number of pilgrims is only going to keep increasing every year. As the facilities improve, more and more people will come. So it's always a kind of tug of war, you can say, or it's a cat and mouse game. The next ghat is Lal Ghat, as the nameplate mentions. That's the view of the sun. It has now really come out. So somewhere around 7:30 is the time that the sunlight, right now you won't be able to see your shadow, but at around 7:30 the sunlight is falling directly on the ghats. So that's the time of photography and just viewing things at leisure. All these boats have been lined up here for the night. That's a restaurant, and maybe there's a hotel behind it. There it is. In this Ghat Walk series, there are 3 ghats which stand apart from the others. One is, of course, the Namo Ghat, which is the grandest of all. It's like a evening out time for tourists and families. The second one is Naya Ghat. That's a huge ghat. It has got platforms and stairs, and it's an apt location for cultural programs. And the third one is the Gai Ghat, which is now coming up. So this place, it's come up really well. Infrastructure wise also, there is an approach road to this ghat, and there is an evening Ganga Aarti. So this one remains in my list as one of those places which I have to come here and do a complete photography and videography over here. Now if you see, there are some structures over here. There is a shivling, and then there is another couple of graphics. There's a beautiful banyan tree over here. That's a beautiful ghat, and there's a temple over there. And these are the umbrellas under which the priests stand and do Ganga Puja. There's this diya stand, and then there is this huge array of shivlings. That's the approach road. There you see a massive shivling and smaller shivlings also. So now that's the reason why I am saying that this ghat complex is going to come up in a good way. Now this stretch of Ghat Walk series has steps. So you climb up and you climb down. So that gives you a good exercise. The Namo Ghat railway bridge is a double-decker bridge is now getting visible. That's our final destination. So somewhere at this point of time, I would have finished 1 hour. Now it's not exactly 1 hour. I still have some time on the clock. So Google Maps gives 1.5 hours location based on a very normal walking speed. But if you do some brisk walking, you might do it under 1 hour. And if you're jogging or running, then it's an entirely different ball game altogether. That's the river, how it is visible. This is another one of the smaller ghats. It's an old ghat. You can see from the structure of the stones. So practically speaking, this place would have been, ghats, old ghats in bits and pieces. The government only has just renovated it and made it better accessible and with good infrastructure. There you see, this is an old ghat. There's an old haveli also behind. Steps. The series of steps which are here are designed to give you that exercise also. So I don't have anything to complain about. So that's the Ghat infrastructure over here. And this stretch is again, if you see these houses, they're all hutments belonging to the Nishad community. So these are really old settlements, very old, and the government has made some effort to improve them by painting and all. And that's the boat, that's the cluster of boats which you see ahead, part of this complex. And that gentleman in the front of me is definitely a morning walker coming here for his daily exercise. That's a good way to keep yourself healthy and fit. A ghat walk of 1 hour. Many of the pilgrims who come for Ganga Snan for Ganga Snan possibly come there only once in a lifetime. And a large percentage of these pilgrims are the ones who are senior citizens. So one way to look at it is that they spend their whole life working hard, tending to their responsibilities. And once their responsibilities are over, the only one desire they have is a Tirth Yatra to Kashi. So that's the reason why Dashashimeva Ghat is so crowded. I mean, if you're going to come to Kashi once in a lifetime, you will obviously come to that place which has got some value and significance. So that's the reason why people crowd over there, and the alternative bathing sites have not yet come up fully. So as I mentioned, this Ghat complex mostly has boats. It also has got approach roads which come down. There are stairs. There are a couple of bolt workshops also over here. And these boat workshops are such that you can actually see people constructing a new boat. Now we have finally touched the 1 hour clock time. This particular ghat which is coming up, it's got an interesting history. It was an ancient canal which had mentioned in the old textbooks. However, afterwards they converted into a pakka ghat. And I have seen a couple of times that many pilgrims come down over here. So there you go. There's a large group of pilgrims. They have their boats ready. After the Ganga Snan, they'll straight away go to the temples. And that's the ghat over there. There you see lots of pilgrims. That's the ghat, Telia or something ghat. I hope I've got it right. And there are e-rickshaws standing at the entrance of the ghat on the main road to take you wherever you want to. So after this ghat complex, okay, that's the boat which I was mentioning under construction. So now there are not one but two boats which are getting made ready. Actually, they have got late because the tourist season has already begun. But then I think they are getting ready for the December rush. This boat will get ready by that time, no doubt about that. There it is. Amazing workshop. See the size of the needles, the nails. So that's completely the Nishad Raj community staying over here, and they must be staying here for centuries. Now the bridge is clearly visible. It could be around a kilometer away from this place. That's the Prahlad Ghat. It's named after Bhakta Prahlad. That was a slight misstep. There's at least one priest sitting over here at Prahlad Ghat. There he is. And now we are entering into our final stretch. The ghat immediately in front of us is Namo Ghat, the one which I was saying, which is host for a lot of cultural programs. And after that is the Namo Ghat complex. That's the Rani Mahal. It's white and looks very beautiful at night. So that's Namo Ghat right in front of us. A beautiful big ghat. Now just after Namo Ghat there is a viewpoint, and next to the viewpoint is a tiny parking space, which is interesting. If you're coming here early morning, very early morning, and if you're coming here late night, that parking space is the ideal one for you to use. So these are all old settlements. That's the sunrise. So still no shadow, which means, as I mentioned earlier, 7:30 is the right time for you to start the photography of the ghats. That's Namo Ghat. After here, as I mentioned, there is a platform. So, and all these benches, they are again for pilgrims and the priests and the vendors. So that's the platform in front of us. It is a kind of stage, and anybody who is performing over here, so they sit over here on the stairs in a kind of, amphitheater settings, open air. That's the viewpoint of Rajghat. This is the Namo Ghat. This is the Ravidas Mandir. That's the viewpoint of Rajghat. Now, if you see in the far distance, those three vehicles which are standing, that's the viewpoint which I was mentioning. Now, if you see in the far distance, those three vehicles which are standing, they are the, that's the parking space which I was mentioning. And you have to be lucky to find a space over here. That's the done thing. There you go. There are at least 3 spaces for parking over here. Now this place which is made over here, this ghat complex, is really beautiful. But the problem is that photography is not allowed. Photography, videography, video shooting, video cameras, all these things are prohibited. So last time when I climbed onto this, the people, the guards, security guards, started getting very strict on me, and they said that if you don't stop filming, you will be fined around 5,000 rupees. So I was like, okay. And that also interrupted my ghat walk. But then I realized there is a pathway below this. And at least here, they should not object for me filming. So that's what is on cards today. I'm going to follow this river bed, and I'm going to reach Namo Ghat, come what may. I also wanted to test the capabilities of GoPro, which is the reason why I took this walk. Now, GoPro generally runs for 45 minutes in the top settings, which I always use. That's a 10-bit, high bit rate, and high quality, and color vibrant. But in this case, I am using the GoPro in a lower settings, that is 4K and a neutral color profile. So that's the reason why I wanted to check it. And if I'm starting from one point, it is definitely important for me to terminate at the other point. So this is the spot where the guards are very active. But again, as I mentioned, there are two of them standing with their back towards me. So, but as I mentioned, I will not go on the pathway. So that's a complete pathway from there where we started, where this pink stretch starts, and it goes right up till those two arms of Lord Shiva. So there you go. There's a pathway along that. But as I said, if filming is not allowed there, I don't think they will have any objection of me filming this side. So it's 1 hour, 10 minutes. Which means at my walking pace, I was able to complete the ghat walk in 1 hour, 15 minutes. That's a saving of around 15 minutes. And as I said, if I start running, maybe I might finish it within the hour. So till now, nobody has shouted at me or blown a whistle. All these security guards, they stand over there under this black shed. They'll be standing over here. In morning time, they are not so much active. But as the day progresses, there are at least 15-20 of them roaming around over here and maintaining very strict discipline. That's the double-decker bridge and the river front. The problem with the ghats is always that people are going to do their bathing activities here. They perform their religious rituals at any place where they find. So that becomes a problem for photographers like me and bloggers who are filming. That's a CNG gas station. There's one over there. There's one over here for the boats. And finally, we are reaching the end of our stretch of ghat walk. This is ghat number 54. That's Namo Ghat. And these boats run between Assi Ghat and Namo Ghat. So if you have started your ghat walk at one end, and if you have parked your vehicle somewhere, you can actually catch one of these boats and go back all the way to Assi Ghat. But we are not going to do that. We are going to do the next interesting thing of a morning ritual. Thankfully, again, no security guards till now. So there is it. There it is. And there is a very strong likelihood of finding a security guard up ahead. But if not, that means I have officially finished my ghat walk without any interruptions or disturbances. And what we will do is, as a mark of finishing this ghat walk, we will climb up these stairs. There you go. Finally, at this point of time, I have to stop filming because there'll be a security guard right in front of me now.